What happens if the F-22 Raptor enters Iranian airspace? The F-22 Raptor is widely considered one of the most advanced air superiority fighters ever built. Designed with stealth at its core, it combines radar evasion, extreme speed, and unmatched situational awareness into a single platform built to dominate the skies before a conflict even fully begins. Capable of flying at speeds above Mach 2 and maintaining supersonic cruise without afterburners, the F-22 doesn't just move fast, it moves quietly, minimizing its heat and radar signature at the same time. Its internal weapons bays allow it to carry air-to-air missiles like the AOM-120 AMRAAM and AOM-9 Sidewinder, along with precision-guided bombs, all without compromising its stealth profile. Now place that capability into a hypothetical scenario involving Iran. In the opening phase of any potential conflict, control of the air becomes the most critical objective. The side that dominates the skies gains a decisive advantage, not just in combat, but in intelligence, coordination, and timing. If the F-22 were deployed into Iranian airspace, the immediate shift would be subtle, but profound. Iran's air defense network is built around layered systems, combining radar installations, surface-to-air missile batteries, and interceptor aircraft. On paper, it is designed to detect, track, and neutralize incoming threats. But stealth changes the equation. Instead of a clear target, radar operators would be dealing with faint, inconsistent signals, if anything at all. This creates hesitation, and in modern warfare, hesitation can be fatal. With its advanced AESA radar and sensor fusion, the F-22 processes vast amounts of data in real time, building a complete picture of the battlefield. It can detect aircraft, track movement patterns, and identify potential threats long before it is detected and returned. This means Iranian fighter jets, including legacy platforms like the F-14 and MiG-29, could find themselves targeted before they even realize they are being engaged. In such a scenario, engagement distances become critical. The F-22 is built for beyond visual range combat. It doesn't need to see its opponent with the naked eye. It can launch missiles from distances where the opposing pilot has little to no awareness of the incoming threat. The result is not a traditional dogfight, but a one-sided exchange where reaction time is reduced to near zero. As Iranian air assets begin to lose effectiveness, the pressure shifts to ground-based defenses. Surface-to-air missile systems would attempt to compensate, scanning the skies and launching interceptors toward suspected targets. However, stealth technology significantly reduces the probability of a successful lock. Even when a missile is launched, the likelihood of interception drops if the target cannot be accurately tracked. This creates openings, gaps in the defensive network that can be exploited. Once those gaps appear, the strategic impact begins to expand beyond the airspace itself. Critical infrastructure such as command centers, communication hubs, and radar installations become increasingly vulnerable. Precision-guided munitions can be deployed against these targets, degrading coordination and slowing response times. The battlefield becomes fragmented, with units operating on incomplete or delayed information. At this stage, the role of the F-22 evolves. It is no longer just an air superiority fighter. It becomes a force multiplier. By suppressing enemy air defenses and eliminating aerial threats, it creates a safer environment for other assets to operate. Bombers, drones, and support aircraft can move in with reduced risk, extending the reach and intensity of the operation. However, Iran's strategy is not solely dependent on conventional air power. One of its key strengths lies in asymmetrical warfare. This includes the use of ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and large numbers of drones designed to overwhelm defenses through sheer volume. In response to an advanced platform like the F-22, Iran could shift tactics, relying less on direct confrontation and more on saturation attacks and indirect retaliation. Electronic warfare could also play a role. Attempts to jam communication systems, disrupt data links, or create false signals might be used to counter the F-22's informational advantage. While the Raptor is designed to operate in contested environments, no system is entirely immune to disruption. The effectiveness of such measures would depend on coordination, timing, and the ability to adapt under pressure. Another factor to consider is geography. Iran's terrain includes mountains, deserts, and urban centers, all of which influence detection and engagement dynamics. Low-frequency radar systems, which are sometimes more effective against stealth aircraft, could be deployed in specific regions to increase detection probability. Even then, detection does not guarantee successful engagement. It only reduces uncertainty. As the situation escalates, the psychological dimension becomes increasingly significant. The presence of an aircraft that cannot be easily detected or countered introduces a level of unpredictability that affects decision-making at every level. Commanders must act with incomplete information. Pilots operate under constant threat without clear visibility of the enemy. This uncertainty can slow responses, increase errors, and amplify the overall impact of each engagement. Over time, the balance of power in the air could shift decisively. With reduced aerial resistance and weakened air defenses, operational freedom increases. This allows for sustained pressure on strategic targets, further degrading the ability to coordinate and respond effectively. The conflict becomes less about isolated engagements and more about systemic disruption. But it is important to understand that the outcome is not determined by a single platform alone. The F-22 represents a critical component of a much larger system that includes satellites, intelligence networks, support aircraft, and coordinated strike capabilities. Its effectiveness is amplified when integrated into this broader framework. In the end, the introduction of the F-22 into Iranian airspace would not just be a tactical move, it would signal a shift in the nature of the conflict itself. From direct confrontation to controlled dominance, from visible engagements to unseen influence, the dynamics would change rapidly. Because in modern warfare, the battle is not always decided by who fires the most shots, but by who controls the environment in which those shots are fired. And when one side controls the sky, everything below it is forced to operate on borrowed time.